So how do you end up drawing what you envision, what you actually want, rather than what you end up getting when you're done? Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So this time around, that's what we're going to be tackling. I got a question from a reader from my drawing website. Hi. First, this website is amazing. The lessons are entertaining and fun to do, and I'm learning so much. Thank you so much for making these lessons. I have one little question, which is a little weird because my characters have some sort of random life of their own. I have an idea in mind, then start drawing it out, but then I suddenly start drawing something completely different from my original plan. Don't get me wrong, they turn out to be all right, but I'm having trouble drawing from my imagination, which I know a lot of people have problems with, and getting the character I want. Do you have any tips or advice? Sorry, I'm not sure if I've explained it very well, but thanks again for your amazing work. Okay, so here's what I wrote back. Here's my answer to the question. Thanks for your question. I think I understand. I think what happens to you is happens to just about everyone, including myself. Part of the problem is assuming you're going to draw what you have in mind the first time around. That doesn't always happen. It rarely happens. Most pros usually fill up pages of attempts of what they have in mind. Call it exploration. Artists often build on their last attempt, often taking what was working and then taking the drawing in the direction they originally wanted to go, which ends up not being what they wanted, and so they repeat the process until they reach their goal. It's simply part of the process. If you don't believe me, just look at how many versions of the characters I'm now using as mascots on this site, on my drawing website. I had to create before I got what I wanted. So, and then I linked to a lesson. So the website link that I'm talking about is this. Now, I have two mascots on my website. That's a Brushly and Pengrier. And they're basically the kind of a Bruce Lee type and a Pam Grier type, you know, kind of kung fu stereotypes. Just having a little fun. And I wanted to, from the original take where I just kind of drew whatever came out, I wanted to update the designs a little bit and make them more stylized and make them just a little bit different. And so what I ended up doing was I put some of the examples of my upgrading, trying to put down the look of the design of the character that I actually had closer in mind. So what ends up happening is that you you have something in mind in your imagination. Oftentimes you'd be surprised how really unclear that image is. There are some artists that have crystal clear imagery of the designs they want to put down, of the types of drawings they want to put down. Most of us have a feeling, a general vague idea of what it is in our minds. There's you think it's clear, but it's not really, because it's nebulous. I mean, it's in your mind. Like, unless you see the actual picture and you're able to project it on the paper and then basically trace it, you're not going to get what you want exactly right, because it's not as clear as you think it is. See, I've done it once that it was so clear I could see it and I could almost trace it, but most of the time it's there, but it's vague. And when you see it on paper, you'll know it when you see it. So for me, that was what it was. So let's take the Bruce Lee type character, Brush Lee, and I did a lot of exploration. I obviously took photographs of Bruce Lee, and I just kind of wanted to exaggerate him, and it didn't necessarily have to be exactly him, because it's not him. It's a guy just that happens to look like him. But it was the archetype that I wanted, and so I did a lot of exploration, just trying to find the right head, and it just wasn't happening. Like, look how many, but I there were moments and shapes that I thought were probably heading in the right direction, like maybe this kind of head shape, maybe the length of the face. So that's why I came in and I just kept on trying to explore that sort of thing. So here we got this, and so you can see that that I was looking and searching and exploring and trying to find the right thing, and it wasn't ready made. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. I needed to find the it on paper. Like, I needed to find what I wanted it to look like, and so I think this was one of the drawings that really said, okay, this is kind of what I really want. And then it kind of evolved into something a little bit more like this, and then what type of body shapes that I want. How did his arms look like? How would his body look like? How does his torso look like? So it was a lot of exploration, like playing around, finding shape, you know. So, and I did the same with Pen. I did the same thing with the female character and all the characters that I ended up with. So, this is what I'm talking about. The stuff just doesn't come ready made. It requires a lot of work, and in the same way that if you're writing a story or you're writing an essay, the first draft is only the first draft. Very few writers, for example, C.S. Lewis, apparently he was able to write entire first books on his first draft, the end. But most writers, they take multiple drafts. First draft, second draft, third draft. It's mostly editing. Drawing is also the same. It's mostly editing. You come up with an idea, you set it down, and then you edit and edit and edit and edit until you get exactly what you want. So yeah, you may come up with a drawing that is decent and it may not be what you want. So you just keep going until you get what you want. There is no absolute perfect. There's no rule that says that what you put down has to be the exact perfect thing that you imagined. There is no rule that says that when you've got an idea and then you want to put it down on paper and you got to draw it, that it's going to be exactly what you wanted the first time. Where is it written that you have to do it that way? It isn't anywhere. I mean, you've seen there's a handful of people that could do it. Most of us don't do it that way. Most people who are professional that are drawing, they don't get it right the first time, and then we just keep exploring and adjusting. So ideally, that's what you're dealing with. Is not, you're not going to get it right the first time. Very rarely. It's great when it happens, but that's not the rule. It's the exception. Okay. I hope that helps. I hope that that gives you a little bit more of inspiration and motivation and an understanding of the process, because it is a process. Okay? If you found this video valuable, I would like to encourage you to return value for value by becoming one of my patrons over on Patreon. Not only will you encourage me to continue making informative videos that are useful to you, but you get extra perks too. For only a small investment of $1 a month, you can get all new videos I create months before anyone else gets to see it. Also, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer as a patron, you get priority and I answer your questions first. On top of that, when you're a patron at any level, you become part of a raffle where I send original art via mail to the winner of that month. The higher your tier, the better your opportunity to win. Higher tier patrons also get access to any art I do in high-res JPEGs, and also full access to PSD files to any work I do, including the PSD files of these videos. Currently, there's a huge backlog of downloadable files you can get, so right away you're going to get quite a lot of bang for your buck. And the more patrons I get, the better these videos will get. The more content I can produce. In other words, the more you benefit. Please consider becoming a patron. Thanks. The link to my Patreon is on the screen and in the description of this video. So thank you very much. I hope that helps, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.